Hello everyone, and welcome to Slay the Spire 2. Today we're playing Defect on Ascension 1, and we're going for a claw deck. I didn't get all the pieces I wanted, but yeah, as we can see here, right off the top, in the card reward we get a claw, so it was an instant decision that this is going to be a claw deck. Now for the claw deck, I mostly enjoy having all for one. It's a rare card which pulls all of your zero cards back into your hand. So this is what I will be fishing for the entire run. And in order to kind of protect myself in case we don't find it, I will be adding just good zero cost cards and draw cards to replace it. Um, just because you never know whether you will get your rare card enabler or not. So our deck has to be decent even without it. So yeah, obviously because I'm uploading this, it was a successful run. So yeah. Here we have an option to go for darkness. I opt to go for shield and darkness. Since the plan is to play with the zero cost cards, and I don't think there's any zero cost orb generation other than the zap, the upgraded zap. I figured, well, we can have the darkness orb up, and let it just sit there and do a one massive hit at some point. So also, it's generally a good idea to supplement your zero cost deck with some higher value cards. Since you're not using that much energy, you can probably afford it. And here we have a scrape in the store, and we are just 1 gold off buying it. Scrape would have been incredible just to kind of rotate the deck and get to your claws faster. But of course, we get unlucky, so we don't get the scrape, and yeah, we'll have to find some other alternative ways of getting the claws into our hands. And one way that I do enjoy is hologram. The upgraded hologram does not exhaust, and it allows you to pull a card from your discard pile. We had hologram offered to us there, but I instantly picked the sweeping beam because we don't have any AoE at this point, and we were coming up on an elite fight. So, in order to make a Hydra's fight easier for myself, since we only have one single claw as our damage generation, sweeping beam was the choice. No regrets there, really. It's a good card to have. But yeah, it's all about the claws at this point, trying to go through the hands as fast as possible and just play the claw. We get a artifact. I cannot remember the name of it, which also deals extra damage per 3 attacks. So we are now incentivized to grab more claws or some cheap attacks just to trigger the artifact as well. Nothing exciting about this particular fight. We get through it almost unscathed. Yeah, it's a big hit, but I figured I think we can win this with the evocation. And chill is an interesting choice. Gives you frost orbs, and again, since we are not playing that many orbs, maybe it would have been fine, but charged battery, just plain old 7 block and extra energy, which will come in handy once we have some more card draw. Again, if we pull the cards, even though we're most efficient for the glow, having extra energy to play all your defenses or the cards you pulled can be quite good. Hologram to defend and get something that we could use. Probably, yeah. Evoke here is a good option. That's 16 damage for you immediately. I don't go for the second, go for the eyes. I think that would have been an overkill. We don't need that many. Yeah, and here is the reason why we picked up the sweeping beam. Because with the claw alone, this fight would be a total nightmare. But with the sweeping beam, there you go, one attack. Unfortunately, we have a hologram in hand already. I would have loved to have it in the second hand, just so we could play the sweeping beam. And yeah, I make a mistake. I didn't realize I didn't play the charge battery in the previous turn because I didn't have it, so there was no extra energy. But you know, mistakes happen. We take the punishment here, or actually, yeah, we managed to block this turn. Previous turn, took a little bit of hit, so we just roll with it. It's Ascension 1. It's not that big a deal. I did play the evocation here first before the enemies got their shields because your orbs do not trigger their passive ability. It's kind of good to know for fights like these. You know, so, if I were to play sweeping beam first, then our orbs would hit the shield, and that's less damage dealt overall. And at this point, this is just a you know, waiting for the sweeping beam pretty much. Not sure what I was thinking there, because either way we need to get one of the enemies off the board, but it didn't really matter much which one we went for. And yeah, the fight is pretty much over. We could have probably gone for one more elite. Ooh, darkness, yeah. Darkness is nice. So is Momentum Strike. Allows us to play it for free after first use. It's great. And yeah, Lagavulin Matriarch. Usually I don't rush with breaking the shield. I do a little bit of setup, especially on the defect. We have Zap that we can play. We have some Darkness Orbs we can, you know, place. We have Momentum Strike. Yeah, we have Claw, which is still weak. So, you know, getting those things out of the way while the enemy is not attacking is good. You don't have to break the shield immediately. And yeah, this is where the Darkness Orbs are kind of a bit of a win condition for us. Yeah, I decided to trigger the front one immediately because I figured by the time we get to the other one, it will have a couple of stacks already, and you know the boss is already in the lethal zone here, so just a matter of time. Yeah, as we can see here, darkness is already at the 30, so the moment we can evoke it, we just instantly win. Until then, though, we kind of have to mitigate as much damage as possible. And no evocation here, but we got damage, so pretty good. Genetic algorithm, modded, reboot, all of them are good. Modded is probably the weakest for us. Genetic algorithm would have been good. Defense, it scales as you use it, but yeah, reboot was the obvious choice. Allows you to you know, go through your hand faster, lets you pull the claw back into your draw pile. It's just a good card for the claw deck. I mean, it's a good card overall. I probably never skip it when I see it because it lets you get rid of a bad hand. So, you know, yeah. Usually it's a good idea to pick one up and keep it in the deck. 2 is a little bit iffy. You'll often find yourself having both in the same hand, and you're like, I don't really need that. But yeah, like here, yeah, we can just fish for the lethal, and we get it. Skim, another good choice for the card draw. Since we didn't get all for one after the boss fight, we have to improvise. So yeah, we get what we were offered. The deck is getting a little bit thick for the claw deck, I would say. Um, it's not too crazy, obviously, but I should probably look for a couple of card removals rather than adding more more draw into this, because like the dual cast is good, but it would be much better if it were free, and if we got rid of some defenses or some strikes. Yes, I instant skip there. There was nothing for us. Feral here is the way to go. It plays nicely with your claws. Orichalcum is a good choice in terms of the relics. However, Jackpot does seem good because it offers you 3 random 0-cost cards. So if we do find all for one, we're having a good time, right? We're pulling back the free cards and playing them. At this point, a well-timed all for one will pull like 1/3 of the deck, and it's all free. So it was a pie in the sky kind of a dream. Didn't really work out, but Jackpot turned out to be an okay card for this deck. Since we do have quite a few cheap cards, we can usually play it, and if not, well, for this we had a potion. Got modded, go for the eyes, yeah, all the good stuff. This is my least favorite enemy in the game. Very tough sometimes, especially on the higher ascensions. Luckily we got holograms, so we can get the item back. Yeah, not the item, card back. We're fully defended, and we have 18 health to get through. And yeah, not ideal. I should have used the vulnerability potion there and finished the fight on the spot, but I got a little bit greedy. I wanted to keep the potion, even though it was a risky play. However, we got our Jackpot and Feral in the same hand, and Jackpot was free, so we got to play it twice, 25 damage and 6 card generated. The fight was over, so we did end up saving a potion, which is fine. Yeah, and this is why we have the draw. Like, these cards are terrible for us, as in obviously they deal the damage and block you. However, we're not getting our claws online, so far from ideal, I would say. There's Jackpot, there's the claw. Slowly but surely we are moving forward. Get a bit of a block, but we were not able to block fully here, so we do take some damage off of the bad draws. Feral was of course the almost last card in the deck, if not the last, so that wasn't ideal. And yeah, we see that the other enemy has only 6 HP, so I figured we will probably find the damage, and we end up not finding the damage. So the enemy lives another turn. However, here we can get rid of them, so we're happy. We have hologram to pull something, but we also are fully defended, so I decided to play it safe and finish, well, almost with the claw. And here we finally find the second claw, and yeah, This will make things go literally twice as fast. Since the claws, buff each other, you get one, the second one is already dealing more damage and so on. So yeah, having multiple claws is good here. Yeah, for this one, since the claws are our main source of damage and they take a moment to scale, I decided to use all of the potions. A bit of an overkill, however, again, all of our damage is coming from the attacks and we are getting dazes in the deck. So it was dangerous to let this fight go on for too long. Yeah, obviously we get through the fight with ease here, but it's only because we got lucky with the draws here. That's it. Double energy seems like a good idea, but we don't really run into that much energy problems, so for the most part it's just probably a bad choice, but alright, maybe not a bad choice. It's a neutral choice. Like, yeah, we got an extra card. It does give us energy, so sometimes when the hands are bad, we might get extra energy to play the entire bad hand and turn it into an okay hand. But yeah. Getting Feral in the first hand, however, is amazing. It's also a power, so it makes something else free, and yeah, it is just good. Charge battery, get some block, get some energy for the next turn. Of course, go for the claw, play it twice. With the feral, claw gets good really quickly, so I'm happy with that. And jackpot will again allow us to play something with the feral because we get free cards. So yeah, we're starting to scale here quickly. We pull the weakness here, so we won't take as much damage. We have boost away, which again will help us. Oh yeah, obviously we had charge shield, so we didn't put any dazes into our deck unnecessarily. And this is where the double energy kind of does absolutely nothing. Again, as I said, most of our cards are cheap or free to play, so double energy won't always be good, so it was probably a bad pickup overall, but it is what it is. Data disk. So we got the virus, which gives us darkness at the beginning of the combat, and now we have disc, which gives us focus. So in some world, this would have been a very good orb deck. We have focus, we have 3 orbs in the beginning. Even just a plain darkness build would have probably been very good. But yeah, my mind was set on the claws, and who doesn't like claw deck, right? One thing I do regret not doing in this run is focusing on the rest sites. Again, the Zap and Dual Cast are amazing cards, but the unupgraded versions are not free, and usually I want to play them every time. There are some cases where I'm stacking darkness and probably wouldn't want to, but for the most part, if I see Zap, I want to play it. If I see Dual Cast, I want to play it. Yeah, Flag Cannon, not for this deck. It exhausts your status cards. I thought for a moment it would be an AoE, so I was like, alright, well, we can take it as a 8 damage card for the tougher fights, but no. It does nothing for us. And here double energy kind of does a thing, right? It enables us to play jackpots and also keep playing after that. We got overclocked, we got boost sequence, we got reboot, so we're kind of happy with what we got. We have 2 holograms, so we can pull the claw twice or play a jackpot. But of course, jackpot will cost 3 mana, and after playing the hologram, we're only at 2. So Good thing I spotted that in the moment. Sometimes I make that mistake. And yeah, this is where having free dual cast would have been amazing, but it is what it is. Another jackpot. We have one extra mana, so one extra energy, I should say. Got FTL from the jackpot, allows us to pull a card. But first, we of course apply vulnerability to the enemy, and then we play our free cards and see what else we can pull. Yeah, got the claw, we get to upgrade it, we even get to block a little bit. Not completely, but we also have a fairy in the bottle here, so feeling pretty good. Feeling like I can play aggressively, more or less. Not playing overclock here, simply because we have no energy to play any cards we pull, so we would be adding burn for no reason. That's 2 FTLs. By the way, great game if you've never heard of it. Faster than light. Yeah, got some cards. Got Skim. We have another beam cell. And probably need to defend here. Yeah, dual cost wouldn't cut it, so to speak. Enemies are slowly going down, but you know, classic. Went to see if we can pull something good from the hand, and we get a burn. Good times, good times. Momentum strike into overclock. Oh, or the other way around, I suppose. I always try to see what options I get from the draw before I make a play, so... Well, maybe not always, but most of the time. You never know. Maybe there's something you forgot, or you just... The way that you cycle your deck impacts your decision making on the cards you're playing. So good to know all your options. Another reboot on the table, or machine learning. Now, as I mentioned earlier, having 2 reboots can be iffy. Like, I had bad luck with that previously, so machine learning it is, just so we can draw extra. And yeah, here moles were a consideration. We have some pretty bad cards, but then Iron Club seemed like a much better choice. We picked up machine learning, so we are playing, or we are drawing 6 cards, and with the Iron Club we play 3 cards, and then we get another card draw, which could potentially be something like an additional draw, or even a claw. It doesn't really matter. We do want to play a lot of cards, and we do want to keep drawing, because we will often have extra energy to play with, so it was a decent choice overall. Like here, even with the Feral, we get to play 2 cards for free, which allows us to just draw a defend, which might save us here. There we go, beam cell, into claw, into another claw. Yeah, there we go. Just playing the cards. It's almost like an unceasing top. Almost. Cool-headed could be considered here, because again, it's a card draw, but I didn't go for it. Instead, we got a Quebeco from the event, which doesn't really do much for us. Like, it's a good artifact. Obviously, it's extra damage nonetheless. However, our claws are single attacks, and you know, they start at 3 damage, so that's not much. I much rather have a Quebeco when I have multi-attack cards like Whirlwind or Gun Cup, you know, that sort of stuff, because a Quebeco is applied to the card. So once you play it, all 3 applications of it, or however many multi-attacks you have, are impacted by the Quebeco. So you get a whole lot more value from it on the multi-attack cards. The floor fights at this point are quite easy for us. There are a couple of dangerous ones, of course, especially in the hard pool, but for the most part, you know, the claws are working. I get rid of the flex potion. Strength, again, is something that works better if you have multi-attack. It's good when you have just many attacks as well, but, you know, this wasn't the kind of the deck we have. Upgrading either claws or, yeah, actually holograms was the correct choice because we don't want to exhaust our holograms. We do want to get rid of the regret, and yeah, nothing too interesting in the cards. We have another jackpot. We have pocket watch, which does absolutely nothing for us. Bread is interesting. It kind of solves our bad draw problems and works nicely with the Iron Club, simply because if we get a hand which consists of, you know, cards that cost 1 mana or something, we can play all of them and then we can draw into our good cards that way. So overall, I still like in the Slay the Spire to get extra energy. It still has great value here. Obviously, I've adapted to the lack of energy relics here, but having energy to play all your cards just is good most of the time anyway. A reboot pulled us another claw, so that was good. Machine learning is online as well. We get to play charge battery for extra shield, and we have another jackpot on the table, which gives us 2 claws. Amazing. So, you know, in 2 turns we already halved enemies' HP. We get feral, which brings us claws. Like, well, yeah, we're going to finish this fight very quickly. There's another claw and another claw, like, just like that. The enemy is already in the lethal range. That's why I love claws. Third claw, it's probably the better choice here, but I go for Shatter, simply because it's AoE, and also it evokes our orbs, and we currently don't have that much orb generation or orb evocation. So I figured, well, if I have like 2 darknesses that have already stacked a little bit, dealing 11 damage to all enemies and also evoking the darknesses, will probably get some kills on the board. So was kind of the plan there, but I should have also realized that we are in the Act 3 and we're almost halfway done with it. So for the boss, for the test subject, we probably don't need it. So yeah. Played the Momentum Strike here first to lower its cost, and then grabbed it back into the hand to trigger the Feral with it. And now we're just rotating a block and let the other cards exhaust. I always focus the middle enemy. It's usually the most dangerous one for me. Play double energy so we can play Jackpot. We got a couple of claws again. Overclock to get something. And there we go. I'm not too keen on playing unupgraded blocks here, so I'm trying to kill the enemy which took our upgrades. There we go, we played Shatter and it actually did something good. And now we are happy again. We get extra energy, we get to pull our claws back. There's nothing to dual cast, so we can just spend energy on skills and trigger the letter opener for extra damage. Hologram is here, however, we didn't have any cards in the discard pile, so unfortunately we couldn't use it to get the claw. And we got another claw, which is surprising, because usually we don't get them. Yeah, here Shuriken would have been amazing. With the claws, we would have stacked the strength to the sky, but no such luck. We did get the Eternal Feather, I believe is the name, so we don't need to rest here, and instead we can just upgrade and yeah, and go to the boss. We got some potions to help us with the energy. I also didn't realize I played the power, which triggered Mummified Hand and made the Momentum Strike free. So I didn't play it, but it's fine. We're winning here. Anyway, I'm trying not to play skills, but I noticed that the enemy is already going down. If not this turn, then the next turn, so we're fine with just playing whatever. Jackpot is the play here. Get some free cards. We could have played Claw beforehand, but I think it would have killed the enemy and we wouldn't have been able to play the Jackpot, so good call there. Yeah, we have 0 card draw, so double energy won't do too much, but I figured for this fight we probably won't need it. We already have Claws started, we have Peril online, so we're kind of like, you know, just sailing through this fight, really. Nothing much to do here. Fully defended, no need to play Boost Away. Got 2 Claws, which is perfect. And with the Feral, that's actually 3 Claws. We get another one, and we have a hologram. So we get the Claw back. They really start scaling quickly, and we have Skim and another hologram, actually, to pull the Claw, so we're quite happy. Unfortunate that we cannot play the last Claw here. The enemy is not targetable at this point, so no extra scaling, but yeah. And now that the enemy is intangible, all we can really do is defend, but you know, we can still do 1 damage and use this to scale up our claws. Anyway, we would have probably taken like, I don't know, 40% of enemy health just this turn, but intangible kind of did its thing and saved the enemy. Beam Cell, I didn't play it because Feral is still active, so I didn't want to play double Beam Cells. I wanted instead to play the Claw. And there I did make a mistake. I should have played 1 Claw, gotten it back, then played Beam Cell to add extra vulnerability, and then played the Claw again. The enemy is intangible on the turn when we get all of our claws, so fun times. As always, we'll probably need to pull block here, but oh yeah, the enemy is not attacked. What am I on about? So yeah, I pulled the claw just to keep scaling it. That's it. FTL just for an extra draw. We have Momentum Strike, need to get it out, go for the eyes, clear the hand, make space for the Jackpot. Yeah, play the energy, get Hotfix out, pull more cards. We didn't find Claws, which is unfortunate. We do have Shatter, which finishes the fight for us. And yeah, that was a easy Ascension 1 run with the Defect, with the Claw deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.